got an interview for the dream job. And after working with him, I got it. And it was simple and it was easy.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed the journey.
Has it helped? Yes, it absolutely has. It's definitely helped in knowing the market a lot better and knowing how to put myself out there. Like, I would never ever have touched my LinkedIn ever. I didn't see LinkedIn as a valuable resource at all. So in saying that, it already has proven to be.
It's what I say. I think you guys are great and change people's lives, and it makes a lot of difference.
You deliver at a very high level.
It was really enjoyable. You learn a lot. It was really easy going step by step.
You did? Sessions before when they do. So that was, I think session 5, the interview session, if you ask me, was my favorite out of all the 6 sessions.
So it's not only helped me in my personal branding, but it's helped me now on the business side, where I feel very, very capable to go into,
Hey, super legends, superheroes, and superstars. My name's Dre, and welcome to another episode of the Hot Fire Podcast. We are live on YouTube, live on Facebook, and live on LinkedIn. And today, boom, shake the room. I've got a special guest. But before I introduce him, if you're watching live, there's about a 20-second delay. Let me know where in the world you're tuning in from. And if you're watching the replay, you know what to do. #replay. All right, so this next guy we met, I think, a couple of years ago. And he has to be one of the most well-connected people that I have ever met. And he just seems to know absolutely everyone. When we first caught up, he was like really down to earth, just a genuine, nice guy that wants to help everybody. So he's one of those people that are putting you first, and it's really all about the relationship. So I'm really excited that he's here today. So grab yourselves a cup of tea, cup of coffee, some biscuits, and some balloons, because we are about to blow it up. So I want to give a massive, warm, gigantic welcome to Jason Van Hunnik.
Hey! Hey, mate. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Awesome.
This is my first live podcast.
Oh, yes.
Do I take the shirt off, right? Or do I do?
Yeah, just want to say massive thank you. And man, you are just, I love you to bits. Absolutely love you to bits. So
love you too, brother.
You're all about the people, the connection, and yeah, I love that. All right, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Quick replay. So I turned 40 last year. Brisbane boy, born and bred. Thanks, mate. Brisbane boy, born and bred. Schooled in Brisbane, and fell into a career of hospitality. From starting the age of 14 right up until I tapped out in 2014 as a CEO and group manager of a pretty large club in Queensland, and decided to fall into the space of management consultant in the hospitality space. So since 2014, had my own businesses ranging from consulting out to non-for-profits as well as hospitality, and also reaching out to my own now, what I've moved into, my own bar and cafe group. But more importantly, just have fun, mate. Pivot. That's what the big word is, isn't it? The big COVID word, pivot. But yeah, No, it's been good. So been doing that now, as I said, for 6 years, 7 years, and refined in that space.
Okay. And what was the motivation for wanting to get into hospitality? Where did that come from?
Fell into it when I was 14. Went to a vertical curriculum school. For those that don't know, that's those schools that you can do advanced subjects. So by the time I hit grade 10, I had finished about 3 of my senior subjects and had this massive space. And the school couldn't allow me to go home because that really was about 2 days a week of space. And I said, well, I finished my senior subjects. Surely I can just stay home. And had to do a course. And at that time, TAFE were offering hospitality courses. And I just went, stuff it. I'll just do that. And ended up doing this certificate 1, I still remember, in hospitality. And the teacher asked me on day 1, what are you going to do? You're going to be a chef or be a waiter? And I said, no, I'm going to be a film director. That was my passion, marketing. And she just said, whatever. And I did the course and did some work experience at my first job, which I was there for 12 years. But that just started it and just fell in love with hospitality. It was the one role that you can do where you're on the floor one day, but then you're controlling the financials of a multi-million-dollar business the next, and really grit my teeth in it and worked in a whole range of places. And that probably allowed me to meet a lot of people through that time. So I just loved it. I had to stop working for the man and work for myself because I started a family back then. I didn't. My wife did, but we started them. I didn't have anything pop out of me, but my daughter came in 2014. So I just come home at 3 a.m. Probably wasn't going to cut the slack anymore, and that's why I created my own business at the end of the day. So fell into it from a school program, believe it or not.
All right. So is that where the people, because you're really about people, relationships, connections, like networking. Was that where it all started in hospitality? Because it's a very sort of social industry, or was it something else?
I think it helped a lot. Hospitality, one thing is when you first start, it's all about working really hard. When you start off as a glassy, you're there to collect glasses and you've got a very simple task. But over the years, as you progress in career, you tend to then start to meet people. I guess you get introduced. I had very good mentors if they're watching this. Peter Harrison was my first, and Tony Costain was my second, and Stephen Gallacher, who's down in Canberra. The 3 of those boys really gave me the strength to start introducing to different people in the industry. And then from there, I guess I then branched out and started to learn and meet people and find out what space they're in. And in hospitality, as you know, it is the classic, you serve a drink to a customer, you want to get to know that customer. If you do your job right, that's really what you wanted to do. So it was honing in on the people skills, I guess, for me. Different for other people, but for me, that's what started it.
Awesome. And talk to me about your love for football, the round game.
I love the administration of football. I used to have my dead set teams that I follow, but recently in times those teams have changed. I do support my local. There's a bit of a backstory with the Brisbane Roar. And the backstory is connected to my father, who's Dutch, and my mum. And the club that started the seeding for that particular football club here in Brisbane, we've been involved with for 60 years, which is...
did you say 6-0?
6-0. Yeah, 60.
Wow.
Dad's years, he's passed on, but mum's continued that legacy. So, and my brothers and sisters have all been involved in that club. So Queensland Lions out at Richlands, that's where it started. My dad was one of the originals. So football passionate. Also fell into which I know you'll want to ask questions about that, fell into an administration role with the authority here in the state, which is Football Queensland. I was very, very fortunate. I can't say that I had a really bad COVID experience. When COVID did hit, the day after it hit, my wife and I lost our hospitality business, as everyone knows, which turned over quite a lot of money. But that day it did actually happen. I got a phone call from the CEO, Robert Cavalucci, if he's out there, big man watching, gave me a chance to help Football Queensland. So that job kept me going and kept my family going through the bad times, and was able to readjust and rebuild my business. So Football Queensland, I was with them for 2 years. I'm still with them, just in a different role, but that was a highly consultative role. in the last 2 years about reforming and helping. It's about, my passion is about helping the kids grassroots level, and that's what Rob has set out to do, and has really have achieved it. But there's a lot of work. We're actually the largest association in the world, if you think of space. Size of
really?
Queensland. As far as space and landmass, you've got Queensland as a state association, not national, of course, but Queensland has a high concentration of clubs. You're talking over 1,200 clubs around a space the size of our state. It's quite hard to manage when you've only got a small team, but Rob does it really well. So my passion is football. If anyone brings up football, I just love the administration side, like how a little club like Dre's Football Stars wants to start out at wherever you are now, on the north side of town, wherever you are. But I love seeing those little stories of just people that want to help and start little football clubs all around. The more the merrier, because the World Cup's coming soon for the women's, and that's the exciting part. Is you've probably seen that change in women's in sport and football, particularly in football. Women are becoming a more predominant feature, which is good.
Brilliant. And before we got on air, we were talking about football, but you were saying that Brisbane is going to be like a massive hub because there's like so much going on. You mentioned the casino. There's a lot happening. I mean, a lot of people are probably aware of this. I think at the moment in the world, there's a lot of noise, but you just need to concentrate on your local area. And Brisbane is in fact has got so many good things happening from an infrastructure perspective. You look at the light rail project that's going to, being built at the moment, how that's going to make it easier for people to move around. Like you said, you've got, we've got things like the World Cup. You weren't aware before the World Cup's coming through the Women's World Cup next year, and that's going to bring a lot of internationals through. And at the same time, next year, we've got Queen's Wharf, which is our new casino. So if you weren't aware, the old casino is being returned back into as a hotel, and a new one, which is the same people that built Singapore, Marina Bay Sands and that sort of project are coming here. It's going to still be run by the Jupiters Group or Treasury Group, but that will bring a world-class, and it's not just the casino. We're not talking about gaming here. We're actually talking about like the Dorset Hotel and 6-star hotels, which Brisbane has never had 6-star plus hotels arrive, and just the activity in the centre itself, an extra 34 restaurants, just an immense part of it. And then moving on from that, of course, everyone knows that Brisbane will now be able to be put onto all those shirts across the world as they become a world city, and the Olympics. What hopefully happened to Sydney will happen to Brisbane, and every Olympic city always says we're the best Olympic city when it happens. So hopefully we'll be able to say that in 2032, I think it is, which I'll be an old man. You and I'll be old men, mate, in wheelchairs then. But it's not that far away. But you'll still be telling dad jokes at 4 a.m. in the morning. But it's all good. We'll see. It might be Olympic sport by then too. You never know. Right, can you talk to us about, I really want to know about, like branding yourself, building your network, because you are involved you just know a lot of people, and what I love about you is that you are always trying to, connect the right people that can help each other. So can you talk to us about what you do and how you people and...
I think how it started is when I started for myself as a business, I knew no one. I knew my club clients that I was helping on a day-to-day basis, but from a business network perspective, I didn't really know anyone outside hospitality. And you asked the question before on how I've now grown my network is I started using a little bit earlier than that. I started using LinkedIn. I think was my main tool. And from a main tool, I mean that when I clicked and connected with people, I actually had one-on-one conversations with them to begin with. I don't do that so much now because I get about 10 or 12 a day, which is fine. But in the beginning, it was about getting to know someone and try to find a connection piece. I think I've always been brought up by my mum. I love her to death in that sense that you're there, Jason, to try and help someone. And I think even when we met, it was about trying to figure out what that person, my own internal challenge was to figure out what that person actually need me, because I'm a person that believes in you meet for a reason. And then that's really what it has. And sometimes it gets a bit, I guess, too much. My brain just gets too much going like a whirlwind. And that's why I talk at 100 miles an hour and I've got 100 things on at the time. But it actually taught me, the network thing taught me just to be waters off a duck's back, really. Don't let anything really get you down. Things are going to happen, and they happen really well, or they don't. And connecting people tend to ease my pain sometimes when things didn't work out, because you just don't know when the next adventure is. And I honestly will sit there. As you know, I'm a proud member of the Brisbane club. Even that opportunity is unheard of. I mean, someone from my background doesn't really get offered a membership at the Brisbane club. So shout out to all those guys out there in the Brisbane club. But, someone sits there and goes, oh, wow, that's a massive network opportunity. I don't see it as a network opportunity. I see it as getting to know people, and usually getting to know people through conversation. Then you find out what you could help them with, if at all there is anything. But there's an amount of times where I'll be sitting there and I've known someone for so long and I didn't really actually know what they were famous for, because I'm not looking at getting to know how famous they are. I'm just getting to know their person. And there's heaps of times. That's probably a stupid part of me. I'll be sitting there going, oh, shit, I didn't know that they were, a movie star or Olympian or something like that. And they've been my friend for like a year or two, and that happens quite a lot. So my network is quite vast. And because I do that connection piece of getting to know the person, whether it's through Facebook or LinkedIn, I usually have a high percentage rate of getting those people to talk, because I'm not just a cut and paste. I hate cut and paste. I don't believe in cut and paste colds. I just don't think it works. Algorithms will tell me different, but obviously that works for a lot of people out there in different areas. But for me, it's just, if you were looking for somebody, I'll say, hey, Dre, this is Jason. Dre loves taking long walks on the beach. And by the way, he's actually looking for a branding specialist in this space, And usually, like I said, a high percentage of the time that people actually connect. And most of the friends that are probably listening to this would agree with me that that's usually how our friendship starts.
Yeah, conversation is the new lead, and it's just having that quality over quantity.
I think it's been about being different, Dre, to be actually honest. Like people just being like just not doing the cut and paste, just talk from the heart like you do, mate. Like honestly, the dad jokes get people smiling, and then the real content, they start to listen. And you'll find that, if I use you as an example, I'm not putting you up on a pedestal, but people will probably tend to listen more to your stories than, say, even if they were watching, Anthony Robbins and all those guys, out there, because you're finding that connection in different parts of it. And I know that's the cool part. And the same goes for me. It's about finding, just be different, like just talk to people, be different. Some people we won't get on with. Some people think you're a dickhead. There's a lot of people out there that hate me. Haters going to be hating. But like I said, if you get that waters up a duck's back effect, who cares, man? You're only living here for, 80 years, maybe my way, probably 60 years with the amount of fat I've got on me. But you're only going to be here for a very short time. And that is a very short time to be playing in the playground of opportunity.
Yeah. All right. So what's going on for you at the moment? What are you up to? What projects are you working on?
For the first time in forever, I'm just focused on my one big project, which is Coconut. Coconut Cafe and Bar is a little hospitality concept that I created when I was a little kid. When I was interested in film, I loved cocktails. Tom Cruise. I didn't like Tom Cruise. I just liked the movie. And Brian Brown. I'm a big advocate for Australian actors. And I wanted to have a beach bar like that movie, if you ever saw that movie. So Coconut became my concept. And about a year ago, a business partner of mine, he had a listed company. He built it really well, and he's been able to step away from that now. And he wants to do it again. So we said, okay, well, let's build Coconut. So Coconut Cafe and Bar opened its flagship. I know it's not a great city to have like New York or Sydney or Melbourne, but we opened our flagship in Toowoomba. Good old Toowoomba. and we're reaching out to the regional people of the world, and it's been going okay. COVID has taken a bit of a hit on it, as any of the hospo businesses right now, but we've been able to fast track our second location in Cleveland. So those out at Cleveland Way, we're opening that up in about a week's time, and we've got our third one in Deception Bay that we're already working on. So through COVID, I think the reason why I've focused on coconut right now is we had to pivot. My traditional hospitality business was no more, and we created dark kitchens or cloud kitchens. And from that opportunity, I won't go into that too in depth because of the time, but in that opportunity, that pivoted into what Coconut Cafe and Bar is. So we've got dreams and visions. I wake up every day. I literally have no sleep, as you know me.
You don't sleep, because I saw you.
How do I 3 hours? I go, I don't know. Don't ask me. Probably why I'm a fatty boomba. But so 3 or 4 hours a night when I do sleep, I wake up and all I think about is my vision. And so in 4 or 5 years' time, let's watch this space. We'll come back with another podcast to see if we've listed the company and whether all you guys out there have bought a share in it. So we'll see what happens. But put a hand up. Yeah. So the vision is to create a hospitality group with multiple concepts and multiple opportunities. And again, that just comes back down to my own beliefs in making people happy. You know, there's nothing better than seeing two businessmen in my cafe in Toowoomba doing business, or a family, you know, relaxing with their dad because their dad's been on business trips all day. That actually inspires me a little bit. So see how I try to tie it all in together. That's what my brain interconnects with. So it's good.
Okay. All right. So if people want to get hold of you, what's the best way?
Best way is by pigeon, homing pigeon preferably. The fat kind would be good. I actually want someone to send me a homing pigeon, just once. Yeah. Just none of this game and throwing stuff, just once. The best way would probably be, you asked me that yesterday, and I think either don't connect me to Facebook because I'm trying to stop business connections on Facebook. I've got like 4,900 and something, but probably LinkedIn is probably the best way. Or my email, which is jason@vanhunnik.com.au. I guess you'll probably add that through.
So they're already in the show notes. I'll do that. What
they do with YouTube, they go put the comments down below. You know, click like up here, wherever it is, up here, and come through. As I said, it's my first podcast, or live podcast. There you go.
Yeah, I love it. All right, so last question. So you know that I'm obsessed with dad jokes, and I know you love like dad jokes as well. Actually, jokes in general. So do you have a joke, a quote, something of value, inspirational, motivational, something empowering that you'd like to leave us with?
I've got really bad jokes, but I'll do one. My daughter's favorite one. I'll do my daughter's favorite joke. All right, here we go. Okay, here we go. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Interrupting cow.
Interrupting cow.
Hey, moo, moo, moo. Moo. Someone's trying to kill me in the middle of that joke. Moo, moo.
All right,
that work?
Jay, so just want to, that was awesome. I just want to say a massive, huge thank you for giving up your time. So I know how busy that you are, for coming on and just dropping value, and then like talking to us about what you do, about your career, about your life, about football, about Brisbane, and you know that I absolutely love you to bits, and I just love you because you're a like down to earth, genuine guy that wants to help people, connect people, and develop like relationships. So you're an absolute super legend.
Dre, always a legend. If anyone wants any help, seriously, just reach out. I'll always answer.
All right, thanks, mate.